Hey, we're rolling into another edition of Dolphins Today, but first a little February update for you. The shortest month in the calendar year, although it is a leap year this year. We're up to 544 subscribers in the month of February, but only a few days left. Can we get to 1,000? We need each and every one of you to subscribe to the channel and tell your friends about the channel as well. And let's dive into some Dolphins rumors on Dolphins Today. Welcome into a new edition of Dolphins Today. Fired up to be with you as always, especially when we start talking about the upcoming NFL draft. So on today's show, we've got all kinds of draft experts out there giving the Dolphins some advice. I'll give you mine as well. And the latest rumors surrounding the NFL draft and the direction that the Dolphins might go in the first round. And one Joel Klatt. Oh, yes, we love Joel Klatt. He's got a fiery hot take about what the Dolphins should do in the first round. You don't want to miss it. Be sure to stick around for that. But in general, we're going to figure out what Chris Grier in this front office wants to do in the first round, starting with some expert analysis and advice from Daniel Jeremiah of NFL.com. And there's a lot of different takes out there of where this Dolphins team should at least pursue in a first round and what they should do and who they should pursue. Because you look at this Dolphins team, back-to-back playoff appearances, but still the longest playoff winless streak in the National Football League. So they're getting there, but they haven't been able to take that next step. So how do they go about taking that next step? And Daniel Jeremiah says it's all about the upside. One of our favorite draft buzzwords, but he goes on to say the Dolphins should really look for the upside. Here's the official quote saying, "You're right smack dab in the middle of your window," referring to a win now window, obviously. And he goes on to say, "So to me, you're looking for upside, guys that are ready right now." I always think about what Ravens general manager Ozzie Newsome used to always say, let's just hit doubles in the first round. Let's not strike out. A little baseball analogy for you there. Daniel Jeremiah goes on to say, if I'm the Miami Dolphins, I want someone who can come in and help me, who I feel like is a rock-solid player ready to roll right now. That would be the area I'll be leaning towards. If I had the choice between player A and player B, I might be a little bit more conscious of the floor, just personally where they are. A lot of times those high-floor picks end up being really good players. So without further ado, in Daniel Jeremiah's latest mock draft, who does he have the Dolphins selecting with the 21st overall pick? And we've talked about him before on this program, but it's Laiatu Latu out of UCLA, who led all of college football in sacks last season with 13 of them. And exactly as Daniel Jeremiah alluded to in that article on NFL.com, he is a player with a very high floor. You know what you're getting out of him. He's a proven sack getter in college football and playing at a big school like UCLA, a Power 5 school, was the Lombardi Award winner in 2023. And exactly as Daniel Jeremiah alludes to, has a very high floor and is being projected to be a mid-first round pick. But there are some injury concerns here. And so sometimes you think about getting that exact pick exactly correct in the first round, and you might overthink some things or maybe not even pay enough attention to other things. The injury concern is certainly a part of the conversation when it comes to evaluating a player like Laiatu Latu. So that's part of the comparison. He's also drawing comparisons to DeMarcus Lawrence as an established pro-comp player. And you think about a guy that can hit the ground running, Laiatu Latu is certainly on that list of a lot of draft experts, as well as the concern with the injuries there. So it's kind of a give and a take there. But if he is available at 21st, you're thinking about a player that can help you right away, especially as it relates to the Miami Dolphins. We know there was a ton of production from the edge position last year. New defensive coordinator, out with Vic Fangio, in with Anthony Weaver. So what will that look like? But Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, both suffered season-ending injuries despite having breakout years. So their timetable to return won't necessarily be as soon as the 2024 season starts. So let me know what you think. Grade the pick of Laiatu Latu at number 21 overall. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know down in the comments. Now, continuing on with some other options with that number 21st overall pick, CBS Sports' latest mock draft has the Dolphins going offensive line and selecting Jackson Powers Johnson. He's a guy we've talked at length about on Dolphins Today. I absolutely love Jackson Powers Johnson, and I'm not so convinced that he'll be available at 21, but if he is, I love this pick and shoring up that offensive line, especially with a guy that's versatile enough like Jackson Powers Johnson to play guard or center, because when you look at this Dolphins offensive line depth chart, more questions than answers, especially interior-wise. Connor Williams, Isaiah Wynn, Robert Hunt, all free agents. The tackles are shored up for the foreseeable future, with Jackson signing a 3-year deal, Armstead in the midst of a multiple-year deal as well, just a matter of how long he wants to continue playing football and if he can stay healthy. But Connor Williams, Isaiah Wynn, Robert Hunt, all big question marks, and a guy like Jackson Powers Johnson could be a very, very viable replacement. And in fact, if I'm presented with the choice between those two options as far as mock drafts are concerned, whether it be Jackson Powers Johnson or Laiatu Latu, I'm going with JPJ over Latu because I think offensive line is more of a position of need, especially if Jackson Powers Johnson falls to you at 21 because the offensive line, it is so deep as far as a position in this upcoming draft. I think there's a realistic chance that he does fall to 21, and for that reason, I think he'd be the most valuable pick that also fits a team need at that 21st overall pick. Now, I want to remind you that when the draft happens, we'll be here, and we'll have you covered from every single angle, and we'll have you covered leading up to the NFL draft. That's why you subscribe for all of your Dolphins content. It's free, doesn't cost anything, and if you want to do a trial run, try it out for a week. We do a video every single day, and if you don't absolutely love it, you can unsubscribe, even though it will break my heart. Now, coming up, we've got a very scorching hot take to get to from Joel Klatt that we will discuss in a completely different direction for the Miami Dolphins to go in that first round. But first, I want to tell you about today's sponsor because Dolphins Today would not be possible without Game Time, the absolute best ticketing app you will ever need. The only one you'll ever need because they guarantee the lowest price possible, even last-minute deals, day of deals. We're talking flash sales. I also love that the app is so easy to use, and they give you the all-in price. So you don't have to go through the process of, okay, add it here. No, you get the bottom line all-in price with Game Time. And because we love you and we care about you here on Dolphins Today, we're giving you $20 off your first purchase when you download the Game Time app and you use that promo code FINSCHAT. That's PHINSCHAT. Right there on the screen, we got the Fins chat for you. And don't worry, because we love you and we care about you, we'll put the link in the comments and description of today's video as well. But I'm telling you, Game Time gives you the guaranteed lowest price possible, and it's a very easy-to-use app. And it's great for not just athletic events, too, but think about concerts, think about going out to see your favorite comedian, a show, whatever it is, Game Time's got you covered as it relates to live events. So don't take my word for it. Download the Game Time app today. Terms do apply. Use that promo code FINSCHAT for $20 off. All right, continuing on with where the Dolphins need to go in this first round and what the Dolphins' first-round draft might look like. Joel Klatt on his weekly podcast had an interesting angle for the Dolphins to pursue with that 21st overall pick. In fact, you could sum up Joel Klatt's advice for the Miami Dolphins in this upcoming draft to completely start over, which is the polar opposite to what Daniel Jeremiah said. And when we look at the full context here, I think you'll understand what Klatt is referring to, talking about the oh-so-important quarterback position, something he knows a thing or two about. And the direct quote is, giving Tua a huge deal, I think, is risky. I think it's risky. He has been injury-prone, so that makes me nervous. I have said this before. A guy I could see stepping into that office with that coach and those weapons and looking like he did in college Michael Penix Jr. He went on to say, imagine starting over with a rookie deal at that position, solidifying some of the things they've got, in particular at the skilled position, and having a guy that, quite honestly, is a better downfield passer than Tua. Penix is a better downfield passer than Tua. Tua does a lot of things well, and in some respects, if I was Sean Payton and Tua was on the open market, that would be a perfect marriage. That's Joel Klatt on the possibility of the Dolphins drafting Michael Penix Jr. And we know a lot about Michael Penix Jr. because he took Washington to the national championship. And really, you got to give Michael Penix Jr. a lot of credit for his resilience as it relates to injuries. He was injured at Indiana, almost even medically retired from football, came back and transferred to Washington, played it out, and led his team to the 2023 national championship. He was a Heisman finalist, put up great numbers there, as you see on the screen. And a lot of ways, the guy has the dynamics of being a very, very talented quarterback at the next level. He can make all the throws, very strong arm. Some things that are in question, though, just like Tua, the injury component of it all. He was the AP Comeback Player of the Year in 2022, a Heisman finalist in 2023. But anytime a quarterback has undergone several torn ACLs, or more than one, I should say, that's obviously a concern. But Joel Klatt seems to think Michael Penix Jr. to the Dolphins, with that offense that they have in place, with Mike McDaniel's system, and of course with some of the skilled players, that could be a match made in heaven, and he could really thrive in Miami. Now, it'd certainly be a pick that would shake up the franchise, so I ask your opinion of the three rumored first-round picks that the Dolphins should consider. What makes the most sense to you? Go ahead and type LL if it's Laiatu Latu. If you're like me and a big fan of Jackson Powers Johnson, type JPJ. Or if you're in the Joel Klatt camp, thinking Michael Penix Jr. might be the best option for the Miami Dolphins, go ahead and select MPJ or type MPJ in the comments. Either way, let your voice be heard, because there are three drastically different directions for the Dolphins to pursue here with that 21st overall pick. I'll give you my take here. I love Joel Klatt. I think he does a tremendous job. And we've even discussed the idea of the Dolphins drafting a quarterback. But I am convinced that Tua Tagovailoa is the franchise quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins can win with Tua at the helm. And for that reason, I think drafting an offensive lineman with that 21st overall pick is the direction this franchise should go. Now, as always in this business, you reserve the right to be able to change your opinion with more information. But right now, in present day, I'm all in on Tua, and I'm all in on the Dolphins drafting an offensive lineman in the first round to shore up that decimated offensive line from both injuries and free agency. Now, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Remind you to subscribe to Dolphins Today. Like I said, we're trying to get to 1,000 new subscribers in the month of February, the shortest month of the year, but we've got an extra day with the leap year. So can we do it? Tell a friend, tell a relative, anybody that supports the Aqua and Orange. We want to welcome them to our Dolphins Today family. Hey, how about a shout out for Colin Brown, today's producer, helping us bring you Dolphins Today. As always, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Dolphins Today.